do you want to do a third topic or no? We've been almost 2 hours going.
I mean, I think I'm on my 10,000 words for the day.
Yeah.
The only the topic I was going to think about was cars.
Right.
And, like, I suppose we could talk about it for a little bit.
Sure, you can do a little speed run cars. Hi, welcome to topic 3. We're talking about cars.
Cars. You know, what do we mean by cars? It's
Four wheels, an axle, 2 of them, probably some seats.
I say vehicles. I kind of use the word cars interchangeably with vehicles because, like, SUVs, small SUVs, like, everyone calls them cars.
Sure.
But they're SUVs, you know, they're different.
Okay.
So, like, it's funny to me that there's so many available in the world.
Uh-huh.
And it's just ever-changing. And then some companies don't change their things at all, and other ones, like, it can't be the same every year.
Oh, sure.
For instance, like Tesla. Like, when they made the Tesla, it's literally been the same design. Like, this is the design.
Right.
They've manipulated a little bit here and there, but it's pretty much the same. Smooth sailing, you know? This is the Model X. That's what it is.
Sure.
This is the Model Y. That's what it is, you know? And then you look at the Ford F-150 or something like that, and it's like, it's changed. Every year there's something like almost like, okay, let's like, okay, we've completely redesigned it. Okay, a little bit, no, completely different again. Like, it just continually is changing.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've got this, like, we're right at the brink of, like, everyone's got electric cars. All manufacturers have, like, the ability to.
Yeah.
Everyone's selling electric cars or hybrids, you know. And it's funny to see everyone's designs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some of them look really good. And you're like, wow, I kind of want that one just because of the way it looks. And, like, it's electric. Cool. That's awesome. And then other ones, you're like, why would you want to buy that?
Mm-hmm.
That looks so fucking goofy.
Mm-hmm.
And it really, I guess it depends on some people's just tastes and whatnot.
Sure.
Some people don't care what they drive, what they look like, as long as it gets them from point A to point B and it doesn't cost them a shit ton of money. Like, why not buy this one? Because, you know, it fits my needs. I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing something like the Rivian, which is a full electric pickup truck.
Oh.
Brand new company, you know, they weren't around 2010.
Yeah.
You know, and all of a sudden they're here and they've got a truck and they've got an SUV and it's like full electric. They've digitally created this vehicle and they've taken all of the storage. You know, they've made as much of the vehicle stored as they can. I'm saying that. Efficient. They've made the storage efficient. They've got compartments and stuff like that. They've got camping setups where you like this whole thing can slide out from under the passenger seat in the back, as where like Ford has their F-150, and it's a gasoline vehicle or an electric vehicle, but they don't have anything extra special about the electric vehicle. It's not like, oh wow, we don't need the engine, so it's just a frunk. It's just a front trunk, you know.
Oh, sure.
It's just an open space, but like. There's so many other places you could have utilized space-saving capabilities. Like, you don't have any of the mufflers, you don't have any of the transmissions, all these other things, all these other components are missing. That it doesn't need to be there, that you could have used for storage. You could have made the vehicle so much better, but it's the same vehicle as this one, just has a gas engine or electric motor.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only real difference if you did. But it's coming so much more into the world of like everyone's switching over to electric.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see. It's fun to see all everyone's kind of like thoughts and designs and some people are like, well, I still need the gasoline with the manual transmission. Like, cool. Like, I hope someone's gonna make that for you. Like, otherwise you're gonna have to make it yourself or buy something old.
Yeah.
And hope there's gonna be gasoline available for you to enjoy that.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't really know what it looks like around here too much. But over in Vermont, it's up in Burlington. There's just a shit ton of electric vehicles everywhere, and it's funny that. Specifically, the Honda and the Toyota small SUVs, the RAV4 and their CRV and their HRV, they have an electronic speaker that emits a noise so that you can hear the vehicle coming because it doesn't have a gasoline motor.
Oh, okay.
So if you're driving a gasoline car, you can kind of hear like the...
Oh, sure.
You can hear it coming. You know, if you're going to cross the street, you know it's there. But these electric cars, they're so quiet. They just go, and sometimes you hear the rocks under the wheels, but like if there's just enough noise, you're not going to hear that. And if you don't look when you're crossing the road,
you know,
they've got these speakers on the cars that just go. It's such a weird noise, and I've been hearing this all over the place. I'm like, this is kind of annoying, you know, like it's loud.
Sure.
I parked in a lady's driveway so I could service her house, and her car was kind of close, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I want to move it. I'm going to be moving out, whatever, and I'll be leaving in a little bit." So we kind of jockeyed the cars around, or whatever.
Sure.
So I turned my truck on, I moved it over here. She moved her car out, and I moved my truck in. When she turned her car on and backed out, it was just going. I was like, "What the fuck kind of noise is that?" Like, but you need to make some sort of noise to not hit people, I guess.
Sure.
To give them some sort of warning. I mean, that's a funny thing that like is happening in the car world right now. Like they have to fake noise.
Sure.
To alert people so they don't get ran over. And then there's also the topic of like autonomous driving, and you have to choose who to kill. Like that's just a big topic of conversation. Like there's one person and 10 people. Like, well, obviously you're going to kill the one person over the 10 people. But they're a murderer. The car's not going to know that.
Right. The backstory, the lore of the person.
Yeah, the car's not going to be like, well, hang on, let me Google search this guy real fast. What's your license number?
In order to drive, I need to take your DNA.
Yeah, like, Jesus Christ. What if there's one murderer in the group of 10 and this guy is, a murderer too? Like, what are you going to do?
Sure.
So, like, at what level of, he's committed a misdemeanor one time, like, let's kill him then. There's one person and he's a saint, but there's 10 people and all of them have misdemeanors. Like, killing all 10, I guess.
Trial by trolley.
And now, I don't know if you've seen this, but in San Francisco or other major cities, AI-controlled vehicles are causing such havoc.
Oh. No.
They're traffic jamming all over the fucking place because, like, one's trying to take a turn. It's just the sensors are too close to the other one. So they're, like... It's, like... I think it's what's going on is there's, like, a massive event where there's just... It's done at 10 o'clock, and everyone's now ordering their Uber all at the same time.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a bunch of autonomous vehicles converging on this one point.
Sure. And
then they just can't navigate around each other, so they're just fucking gridlocked and stuck because... there's 3 cars in a row at a red light, and this person's trying to take a left, but it's not gonna stop trying to take that left.
Yeah.
Because it needs to go there. It's already committed, so it's gonna stop and do that. So now they're gridlocked. They can't go anywhere. So like, yes, autonomous is okay in certain areas, but like, no.
We're still really early on. We gotta figure everything out. And, yeah.
But it's already causing havoc.
Sure.
You know, and
anything new. Yeah.
Some people that are getting hit. Police officers are trying to stop these vehicles because it's hit something, and now it's trying to drive away.
Sure.
And there's not like a driver where you can be like, I can press charges against you. Like it's just a freaking computer. It'll go like, okay, now my next step is to go into this lane, and like accelerate. Like, so police cars are trying to like block them off, and they're literally like 3-point turning themselves out of this situation and driving off. Like, what the fuck?
Wow.
Or running over the cop car, or hitting police cars and ambulances and fire trucks because they don't recognize this. Like it's just something that's just like full speed impact. Tesla has hit a few of like, holy shit! Like, was the driver not paying attention? No, clearly they weren't.
Sure.
Or there was no driver in the vehicle at all.
Sure.
Of like, why would you allow this to happen?
Yeah,
it's a scary thing.
Yeah, it's crazy because the more, I guess, you kind of expand in these ranges of self-driving cars or the AI cars, like obviously there's that many more factors to kind of test for, and I guess I don't know if they're just not realizing that in the testing areas before they're like, okay, go out to the wild type thing. Like it's a lot to think about.
Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. Yeah. So it's there's one thing of like, here you put the key in, you physically have to put down your foot and turn the wheel.
Sure.
You have to go through an education system. We have to test you. You have to gain a license. You have to be a licensed driver. Now it's just like, yep, so accelerate and don't hit stuff.
Right.
Send. Okay.
Yeah. And I don't...
There's electric fucking noises and shit.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's just like, I don't know who's, well, there's a lot of people responsible for it. I don't know what the correct process would be to help regulate that. Mm-hmm. Like if it's more like, okay, like, this technology is good, and it's fine to explore, but there has to be a more, I don't know if streamline's the right word, but there has to be a process of, like, getting from here to there safely so all these bases are covered.
They have made a decent working thing that isn't scalable.
Yeah.
It works by itself.
Sure.
It works against humans.
Right.
You programmed it against humans, but you haven't programmed it against itself.
Yeah, you got to think of all the factors.
Right, and there's not like, I mean, maybe they have programmed it against itself.
Sure.
But like when you have the human factor and the AI factor, or multiple of each,
Yeah.
like what does it do? Freaks out apparently.
Right. Yeah. It's still very early in the infancy, so like, yeah, it's scary because I mean that could be said with any technology. Like you go too fast, you're going to lose control of it, and I mean that's why everybody's freaking about like the AI art and stuff like that. Like where's that gonna go, and like what levels those are if you don't control yourself, pace yourself, all these things.
Yeah.
Because yeah, you can mess up, but to what scale you mess up could be detrimental.
Right. And who's it detrimental to? To you? To your group of people?
Sure.
Your society?
Yeah.
Like the whole world you're taking down because you just let AI loose?
Yeah.
Holy shit. It's a scary thing, and how
Yeah.
quickly it can take over. Like,
Definitely.
have none of you ever seen Terminator? No?
Did you?
Yes.
Skynet.
Skynet's gonna be, you know, it's just interconnected. Like,
Sure.
how hard is it for someone to really hack something?
Sure.
So if a human can figure it out, and you've programmed this computer to do what you just did,
Yeah.
you just allowed it. Like, there's a new another new movie. It's got Shia LaBeouf in it, and it was right around the time.
Oh, Eagle Eye. Yeah.
So Eagle Eye, like that's a scary one because like they intentionally locked her out of a room.
Yep.
And she was watching the vibrations on the fucking cup to listen to what they were saying. Of like, oh, that's a whole new level of like eavesdropping, dude.
Yep.
Like privacy here. Excuse me. Oh, that's an older movie. Like not old, but like 2009.
Yeah.
So like that's.
I think that was even a thought. Yeah.
Yeah, that was before the AI takeover of like, I've got it on my phone right now, where my phone is.
Yeah.
I've got it on my phone of like, can you help me word something?
Sure.
Kind of thing. Like, how do I say this well?
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh yeah, here's like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. So like, that's fantastic. But like, looking at some of the art, like you were saying, it was like, that looks so real.
Yeah, it's cool, but like, oh wait a minute.
Yeah. So like, cool. I don't need to be an artist anymore. I guess. So just use that.
Yee.
Right. So then, how many millions of people are out of jobs
Yeah.
because of one program?
And we're already seeing it in effect with like media. I don't know if you've seen it's kind of viral going around of Disney Plus. There was some program, I think it's like Promposal or some like, I don't know, just a generic TV show. But it's live action.
Yeah.
And it's a shot of this high school and there's like these cheerleaders cheering, whatever. And it cuts to the bleachers.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some kids, you know, doing whatever clap or whatever the fuck they're doing. Behind them, like 2 or 3 rows, there's these very shitty 3D models also doing it. It's like, oh no, what am I doing? If I could find it, I'll send it to you. It's
That's funny.
disgusting.
Then they just don't want to pay the
Right.
extra background actors to be over there, you know. And then they've taken these 3D scans of everybody, so like, cool, we paid you once, bye.
Yeah, now we don't.
Now
have
I've
to
got
do
your image, and like, here's $10. I used
Yeah.
your image.
And here, that's the whole, you know, the SAG-AFTRA stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Good for them for doing that. And
Right.
glad there was some progress, or I think there was some progress.
There
in
definitely
going
was.
through. So
There was fantastic progress.
it's good to see people fighting back against it, whether it's the actors, the writers. I think there's going to be video game voice actors who are going on strike or soonish. So, like, good for them. But, yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's a rough path.
Right. And they're not the only ones striking. There's
Right.
also Ford and GM are both.
Oh, good.
Several plants have gone on strike, and like they're not the only ones.
Sure.
Other places like the USPS is kind of going through some turmoil and some shit. Like everyone's pretty angry at them.
Sure.
So like the whole world's kind of was like, okay, no.
Yeah.
We're pretty upset with this. Like it's just to try and buy a new car these days of like
Oh, yeah, sure.
the amount of shit you need to just drive down the road. You know, and like if I have an electric car, am I gonna take it from your grid, or am I gonna have to make my own with my own solar panels that I've got to pay off the ass for?
Sure.
Like, and then you benefit from anyway. So like I still have to pay for them, but you benefit from it. That makes no sense. That way I can have free gas kind of thing for my car. But like now I'm limited. It's so funny to see charging stations and all of the out-of-state vehicles that are there
Yeah.
for hours just waiting. Like Rutland's got Rutland's just outside of like Killington and Pico and stuff like that, mountain resorts. And right now, not necessarily a whole lot of people, but coming into the winter season, it's a ski resort.
Yeah.
So a lot of people from Jersey and Connecticut and Massachusetts go up that way and go through Rutland. And right at the bottom of the mountain, there's a Tesla station. And it's just funny seeing there's constantly Connecticut, New Jersey, Massachusetts plates there. I've never seen a New York or a Vermont one. It's only those three that I really see there. And they're there for hours just charging so that they go up in the mountains and be in the mountains.
Sure.
Because there's nowhere else to charge up there. You know, you have to make sure you have a full battery before you go up there. And then when it's cold, that diminishes your battery storage capabilities. So, like, holy shit. It's crazy. It's funny to see, like, some of the designs and where we're going with it. And then some of them are really scary of, like, you have a 90-mile range. What the fuck are you going to do with a 90-mile range? That you have to charge your... It takes you 4 hours to get 90 miles. That's not a lot.
Better not be going anywhere.
No. And if you are going anywhere, it's like down the street. Like, why would you need to purchase a vehicle to charge it to go down the street? Like, you could walk that, you could bike that, there's public transportation. Like, I need my own car. Like, with a 90-mile range, where are you going to go? A bike couldn't really take you. You know? So, yeah, it's fun. Yeah. I like cars.
I was going to say cars, AI. This one took off. Woo!
It did. But, everything's getting intertwined. Yeah. You know, because there's... Back in the 70s, there were no computers in cars at all. Everything was all mechanical. So you really had to understand the engine of, like, the timing belt and all the carburetors. Now everything worked, and one thing's fucked up, but you could easily figure out where something was fucked up by just how the engine was running or wasn't running, or how it wasn't getting to something. And nowadays, like, you need a $700 digital reader to plug into your car to be like, yep, the spark plug number 4 is fucked. Like, cool, thanks. So, like, you have a check engine light on nowadays. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, that could be any. Yep. Something is wrong. Yeah. Okay.
My tail light's out. Cool. Check the engine. Glad I checked the engine for that.
Yep.
My blinker fluid's good. And then going from no computers to some computers to a computer with wheels is such a weird thing.
Sure. I've
seen a few videos of people that learned to drive in an electric vehicle and then went to a gas vehicle, and they're like, well, what's going on? Because the car doesn't have, when you pop it into gear and you go into drive, the car will roll forward on you. You have to hold it with the brake. Electric cars don't do that. Oh. And then when you release the gas pedal, the car can pretty much just coast. Yeah. It'll maintain a speed for a little bit, and then it'll start to slow down. Electric cars instantly start to slow down. Like, that's almost like a brake. So, like, you almost have to keep your foot on the gas pedal all the time, or pop cruise control on, so that it maintains the speed. Unless if you let go, it starts to slow down for you. Regenerative braking, which is a really smart system. But, like, if you've learned one way to drive, and now you've gone from that way to drive to the traditional way to drive, like, holy shit. It's such a scary thing to watch people do that. And, like, the car doesn't do it for you. You have to manually do these things. And, like, people are getting so used to just leaving their driveway and popping on autopilot. And, like, it just goes through the lights. Like, dude, that was a red light.
Yeah,
that was autopilot. Like, you're in control of that, though. Like, not really, though. You are.
Yeah.
You're the licensed operator of that vehicle. You have to understand that you just ran a red light. You ran the red light because you had a setting on.
Right.
Oh. Yeah. Here's your fee. Here's your fine for doing that.
Yeah.
Now it hurts, doesn't it?
Right. Oh, boy.
Yeah. We're, like, right on the threshold of, like, everybody being this way. And, like, any new car that you're going to get is, like, it's going to be electric.
Sure.
Or gasoline. We have gasoline option, but it's going to be like 4-cylinder engines, 3-cylinder. Like, I got a 3-cylinder engine in a small SUV right now. Like, it's got a turbo on it. It picks up and goes. I get 30 miles to the gallon. It's not bad. But, like, hear people driving around with their V8s. I need to have a V8. Like, why? You don't tow anything. You don't haul anything. It's in a car.
Right.
Like, why do you need a V8? So I can go vroom vroom. Like, okay. I guess. Because I'm a man. Like,
I need to let you know I got the smallest dick in here.
Right.
I mean, wait. Other way around.
So, like, does everyone with their Tesla or their electric vehicle have the giant penis? Well, no, you've got the cheap Tesla.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I've got the ludicrous mode one.
Yeah.
Like, I don't fucking care. Like, who really needs all this fancy shit.
Yeah.
Does it get you from point A to point B? Does it do fun stuff? Like, is it a track car? Can you take it on the track? Is it illegal to drive on the road? Like, yeah. Mm-hmm. What are you hauling with that thing? Oh, nothing. Just used to drop off the kid at school. Like, why? Mm-hmm. You got a V8 diesel giant pickup truck to drop off your kid at school. Are you hauling anything with that? Oh, no.
Have you seen my kid?
Yeah. A fat ass.
Well, nice. Yeah. All right.
All right, so topic 4.
Topic 4. Well, everybody, this has been another episode of the Wait, What Are We Talking About podcast. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. My name is Brett, a.k.a. Enigma911, and today, once again, I was joined by Charlie for the podcast.
Hello.
Charlie, thanks for being on. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Of course. If you guys want to catch this podcast live, you go over to twitch.tv/Enigma911. You can drop a follow over there. You'll get notified when we go live. You can join on the fun and the conversation. But if you can't catch live, that's A-OK. Go over to YouTube and podcast services the very next week, where it's broken out topic by topic and put as one big video and MP3 for your amusement on the following Friday. Last but not least, any way you can support the show, likes, follows, shares, reviews, whatever it is. It may seem small. But if you guys can do that, take the time, we would love and appreciate you for it. Charlie, thanks for being on again today.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Everybody, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we will see you guys on the next one. Take care.
Adios.